Hey, comic book collectors, do you want to protect what you collect? Do you hate when your comic books slide around in your short box, or you need to turn them sideways just so they don't bend or fall over? Well, look no further than Sidekick Supplies. Their product fits firmly inside your comic box, so you don't need to worry. And not only is their product made in the USA, but also ships free directly to your doorstep. Check out our sponsor, Sidekick Supplies, at sidekicksupplies.com and use the code ComicCon15 for 15% off your purchase. Believe me, you'll be ordering more than one.
Welcome to the one and only Comic-Con Podcast, your podcast for comic book news, reviews, and comic community drama, with your hosts, Nemesis Prime and Milton the Manimal. Are you listening?
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Comic-Con Podcast, Season 4, Episode 18. We are into May. If you're listening to this early enough, you're just around the time for Star Wars Day and also Free Comic Book Day. So it's a big weekend for comic books and for Star Wars fans. We got a jam-packed show tonight, so we're going to get right into some comic book reads. No articles. We got 2 guests on, 2 creators, and it's actually going to be really cool. Nice little collab that we're doing tonight. So let's kind of get right into the weekly comic reads. Why don't you start us off, Mr. Manimal?
Yeah, man. It's been a pretty good week. I don't know. Were you going to talk about Blood Hunt? I'm just not going to be like my pick of the week, but I thought it's worth talking about.
Yeah, we could just kind of go back and forth.
Let's riff on Blood Hunt. So Blood Hunt came out in the new crossover here with Marvel, crossing over from like Moon Knight in terms of ongoings. I think Avengers has an ongoing, and then there's a bunch of miniseries. We've talked about it a couple of weeks ago as well. The starting issue is supposed to be the Free Comic Book Day, which is so annoying too. First off, like Free Comic Book Day is supposed to be the first issue, and you can't get it till fucking Saturday, and then so the other books come out. So reading order, if you are a purist, is Free Comic Book Day, then it's going to be the Moon Knight book, and then Blood Hunt. What's really cool is they did the Red Band book. Did you check that out? I know you saw a picture on our chat.
No, but... yeah. So I didn't get the Red Band. I just, read the regular one. So obviously the only thing I saw was that one screen cap that BC sent us. But I mean, I guess you could kind of tell us a little bit.
Yeah. So spoiler free, but they're like to give you an idea of what, obviously the Red Band is a little bit gorier. There's a lot more blood, and specifically one character gets in the tamer version gets a weapon gets impaled, and the blood in the Red Band version, he gets eviscerated, or completely chopped in half. So it's wild, but I think it's really cool. We talk about certain titles like Carnage, Venom, these like adult type titles. If you're going to go Red Band, this is the shit to do it on, right? Like a Blood Hunt, vampires. So it's cool. There's definitely first appearances in this book. A lot of new characters in the vampire world. I'm liking the theme and where it's going. It was really intense right out the gate, but Marvel's Marvel. We'll see if it holds up. But what did you think? Did you like it?
Yeah, I like the whole Blood Coven.
Yeah, it was cool.
They were definitely intense. They definitely came. They kind of give you like a
Blade 2 vibes, right? Like the Blood Pack from Blade 2, the movie. Yeah, this is totally Blood Pack.
Yeah. It's either that or what's the Children of Thanos? Like what's that?
The Black Order.
Yeah, the Black Order. It was like very similar to them as well. Yeah. But yeah, it kind of comes on strong, and you're right. Like it's really intense, and you're just like, well, we all know where Marvel's gonna go. Like there's nothing. Right. Everyone's going to kind of come back. It was just really interesting, and I guess not too much of a spoiler, but why they kind of want to save Captain America of all the people. That was a little odd.
Yeah, but when they said it, I was like, oh, okay, that makes sense. Like I get it. But yeah, it's interesting, man. I'm excited to see how it goes. There's a ton of spinoffs, and we're
going to get into all those over the next month or 2 months, whatever it's going to be.
So that's Blood Hunt. I checked out that Get Fury. I wasn't going to get it. Okay, I wasn't going to, and then I was like, you know what? I'm just going to pick it up. And same thing, Max title, gory. The ending was pretty intense.
Yes,
but I wasn't crazy about the pacing of the story. It's Garth Ennis though, and I trust Garth Ennis. So I mean, maybe a couple issues in, it'll get a little better. It was a little slow. Did you think it was slow?
In the beginning, it's like not much is happening. Obviously, it's kind of like a build up,
right?
And it's kind of exactly what we said it was going to be. It's Frank Castle gets assigned to go after Nick Fury, and that's kind of like the main thing. But the big parts, like you said, yeah, it's like towards that end where you see Nick Fury and his like comrades in the jungle with the Viet Congs, and just man, they are intense. Like, and you could see why this is like a Max title, not your normal, not your typical Marvel title.
There wasn't as many curse words that I expected a lot more from Garth Ennis in that first issue, and you didn't really get the gratuitous F-bombs and stuff like that yet. But so good books there. I don't really got any hard garbage, man. Everything was pretty good. I mean, Hulk and Thor are still kind of mid right now for me. But I will say my pick of the week, dude, and it's a couple weeks old at this point, was I don't know if you read this, is Dick Tracy. Did you read the Dick Tracy book from Mad Cave?
I have it on my list to read. But I didn't pick it up, but it is on my list to read.
I enjoyed it, bro. I mean, I enjoyed it so much. I was like, where can I find that Warren Beatty movie? I got to bring that bad boy back. It's such a great movie, dude. And I really enjoyed Dick Tracy. A lot of nostalgia, a lot of feels coming back. You got Mumbles, Flat Top, Big Boss. And like, oh, dude, it was cool. It was really, really cool. And I like Mad Cave, dude. I love Nottingham. I like the titles they do. I love supporting the smaller, publishers as well. And, I root for them. So I've liked what Mad Cave puts out. So,
all right.
That's a good title.
Good stuff. So yeah, I mean, you already talked about Blood Hunt. You already talked about the Get Fury book, which was definitely on my list as well. A title, here's a title that I wanted to read and I just couldn't get past a couple pages. It's called Bear Vampire Bear.
Oh, I read that too.
Pirate Viking Queen #1 from Image. I'm just not a big fan of the art. It's that watercolor, and I just couldn't get into it. And I really wanted to try it. It's about it starts off with a pirate, and he's kind of in like a mutiny, and he sees like a bear, and he thinks the bear's talking to him in the ocean, like once the ship goes down. And then past that, I just couldn't get past it because the art was just too.
Yeah,
it just wasn't for me, and it just wasn't for me. So I don't know if someone likes it, that's great for them, but the watercolor kind of took me away from it. But
yeah, I finished it too. But you're right, dude. Like there were so many times, and I mean, one of our guests is a big art. Well, both of our guests are big art guys, so I hope I don't offend them as I'm saying this. Like, but it just the art was too much for me in terms of like I couldn't tell what was going on.
Yes, that's
like I couldn't see things, and I'm like, I don't know what this is, dude. And so then if I'm just like, okay, now I'm just reading and like I'm just moving past this. Is this a comic? Is this a novel? And then I wasn't crazy about the story. Didn't really grip me either. And like I've heard some people out there say some good things about it, and that's kind of why I read it. Bear Pirate Viking Queen. Yeah, I don't know. I might check out issue 2 and just see if it goes a little bit further, but I wasn't really feeling it either.
Yeah, it was a little odd. Another good read this week, and surprisingly so, you talked about Dick Tracy. Did you read Space Ghost?
No, I wanted to, but I've never been a big Space Ghost guy.
So, I mean, I'm like an old Toonami guy, so I'm all about Space Ghost coast
to coast, of course. Yeah, I always thought that show was obnoxious, though. I never really got into it, dude.
Yo, it's so good. Like just like Brack and Zorak. They're just like that.
Who's
show
the praying mantis? Which one's
Zorak? Zorak's the praying mantis. So, but it's just like the art's great and it's very mature. Like this first issue was very mature. So I definitely recommend Space Ghost #1. Like
even if serious tone or like
it's a super serious tone. Like it's definitely not your typical Space Ghost from like
from when he's got a live talk show randomly. It was the
even before that too. Like I mean, Space Ghost is from the '60s for God's sakes. Like, but yeah, no, it's a really good #1. I definitely recommend it. I did enjoy. It was actually a really good book, and I really thought it was going to be just like a rehash, or they were just reprinting it. The Star Wars Phantom Menace 25th anniversary special.
Oh, I didn't pick it up. Yeah,
it was actually really good. So it's basically the whole first movie in a nutshell, episode 1, but it's taken from different sides. It's almost like the story is Anakin and his mom. So a lot of stuff that's happening is before the movie and during the movie, but you see it in a different light. Like it's not really focused on like Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan. There's a lot of stuff that they're dealing with on Tatooine. Like Anakin's helping some people in Tatooine before they're kind of like captured, and then it's a good like family story for like a mother and son. So it was a cool issue. I actually thought, again, I thought it was just going to be a reprint of like the original stuff from Dark Horse from many, many years ago, but it wasn't. But pick of the week, and I'm going to tell you right now, and it sucks that it's actually good. If anybody has Amazon Prime, this book you should definitely go check out. It's on Comixology. It's called Hard Style Juice. I know that sounds weird, but it's another wrestling book.
And you read it on?
Yeah, I read it online because it's free if you have Amazon Prime.
Oh, if you have a membership. Yeah, I got you.
Yeah, so if you have Amazon Prime. So the whole synopsis is it's a pro wrestler built the Castro family, and now it's about to tear it apart. A shocking in-ring death sends the family spiraling out of control and down the path of revenge as one big question rears its head. Was it an accident or was it a murder? So it's really cool because you have the son who's a wrestler, you have his younger sister who's kind of like the promoter at the show and like trying to do everything for her dad. His dad's like, the head of the wrestling organization, kind of like how it was back in like the 70s and 80s before like WWF and stuff like that.
Iron Claw. Did you watch
Iron
exactly.
Claw? It's very much like that. And then the mother kind of like runs like who's gonna wrestle who and the accounting stuff. But yeah, the first issue is really good, and it kind of pulled me right back in to kind of like do a power bomb of obvious, power bomb became like a supernatural thing, but with this, and it's really good. So Clay McCormick is the writer, and Ricardo Lopez Ortiz is the artist, and it's really good first issue right out the gate. So and we Hard Style Juice.
Hard Style Juice. 3 words. Hard Style Juice. Okay.
Yeah. So it sucks because it's going to be a 6-issue series. I'm hoping at some point, and we've seen this before with some of the Comixology stuff, they've come to print later on, through like Dark Horse,
like We Are Demons.
Yep, exactly.
We Have Demons or whatever it was called.
Yeah. So I would definitely think in time, I want to see this come out to print because I think it's going to be an interesting story. So, and it's just, you get some cool stuff like some in-ring action, and like you get to see a lot of like behind the scenes stuff that you kind of, if you watch either like Iron Claw or any of the like the wrestler stuff like that, it's pretty cool. So nice. Yeah, Hard Style Juice is definitely my pick of the week. And like I said, if you have Amazon Prime, it's free. You can download it either on your Kindle or you can just kind of read it right on the internet. So cool. That's our picks for the week. That's our stuff. And let's get into 2 of our guests. Again, we got some comic book creators here. It's really awesome that I'm glad to have both of them on because both of their stuff that they're promoting is dropping this week.
Big week.
So yeah, it's a big week. Let's start off with our buddy V Ken Marion on the show. He's been on the show many times. Boys and girls know him. He was with us at King Kong. Will be with us at Terrificon. How's it going, Ken? How are you?
Doing great, man. Awesome first day for the campaign, and I'm so grateful that you're giving me some time to come on tonight to the show. So thank you so much for having me.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And Zack and I real quick, I sent a
we gotta have a conversation offline about this.
Yeah, we're gonna have a conversation. I sent Zack the screenshot this morning of one of the tiers or one of the pledges that you could do where you could put yourself in the comic book, and I go, "Did you see this tier?" And he's like, "No, I didn't see that one." He's like, I was like, man, we're gonna have to talk to Ken. Maybe we could try to slip ourselves into issue 2 as those regiment guys,
Yeah, but you got to put us next to each other, though.
Yeah, exactly. That's how it's got to be. At some point, whenever you get a chance to do number 2, we want to be in it. I don't care if I get killed, like I get shot by like a stray bullet or something, or a sword that's impaled by.
I'm gonna kind of care.
Well,
we'll see what happens. Book 2 is going to be a huge action set piece to start it off. So there'll be plenty of room to put some Sol-Strikers and soldiers in there, some extra ones. So yeah, nice. I can definitely do that for sure.
Awesome. Oh yeah. So we're going to definitely talk about Ken's book tonight. I've already gone and, thrown some money at it. I think I got the $160 one. I'm excited to get all those different covers. And, if you're listening to this early enough, it just dropped on Kickstarter. We're going to get into it. And our other guest who's been on the show, a partner, a collaborator with us, is James from Mad Love Comics. How's it going, James? How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you guys doing?
Oh, it's awesome. It's fantastic, man. Fantastic. So
I'm trying to find this, get your face in a comic book.
Hey, dude. No, bro. Well, there's only a few of us, dude.
Well, did you, I'm looking it up.
I think so. Like I think I saw somebody actually took one of the pledges or maybe I didn't. I forget what, because it's limited. It's only,
one's gone.
you know. Oh,
yeah, there's two. So what it is there's 2 pages, and the one page is a Sol-Stryker and one page is a Hakaran soldier, and each page is like you get drawn this page and you get the original page of art. And so one of them, the Sol-Stryker page, that was snagged within like the first like 10 minutes of the campaign, which I was pretty stoked about. Yeah.
Oh yeah, damn.
Awesome.
Yeah, here it is. Limited 101. I didn't see this. I didn't see this pledge.
Yeah. So we're gonna get into both what James is working on, because some stuff happened with him, and you know, for the people that don't know, you know, we've worked with James over the past year. A lot of cool stuff with him, and then of course Ken stuff. So let's kick it off, because I feel like, you know, James has been around now for going on a year and a half. You know, James, you kind of crept up into the world of comic books the end of 2022, started Mad Love Comics and Art. First one out the gate, Anna Marcano, Zatanna. You know, you were banging out books constantly, whether it's the traditional art, the digital art, cosplay. You know, we've worked together on 2 books, and then all of a sudden you got into some bullying happened here in the comic book world. So kind of let's kind of, you know, for the people that don't know, let's kind of like walk us through that. Like, why? And, you know, if people check out James's post on Instagram, and if you follow his newsletter or ordered stuff from him, he sent out an email about a month ago, you know, explaining some things. But let's kind of give us a little bit of a background, James. Like, what happened? Like, where did it all break down? And then let's talk about what you're starting, which goes up for pre-order tomorrow, which is now today, if you're listening to this on Friday.
Sure. Before I get into that, I just snagged the last drawn into the comic book.
You
thing.
son of a bitch.
Oh, James, thank you so much, man. Thank you so much. I appreciate that so much. Thank you.
It reminds me of because Lady Death has their video game thing coming out right now, and one of the tiers you can be one of 5 bosses.
That's awesome.
It's $6,600 to get that tier, and I gotta, you know, I'm tempted, but going out of the country next month, I might have
I'm tempted, but it's $6,600. Yeah,
it's you know, there's a few things. But as far as, you know, what you said, you know, I've been doing it for about a year and a half, and I don't want to get into too many name dropping, but what I've realized over the last year and a half is there's a lot of, I don't know if you want to call it gatekeeping or bullying or opinions in this industry on how things should be. Mm-hmm. And for some reason, I caught the attention of certain people who are very outspoken about that. And for them, the art books, you know, the things that I produce, where it's just basically art galleries, have no place, because I didn't put in the time or effort or money to invest in having a comic book created. Now, there's multi-levels to that statement, because, you know, yes, it takes time and money, and currently there's, not even including the thing starting tomorrow, I have 2 issues currently being inked and colored, the interiors for the first two issues of Madison going on right now. But if you're gonna, you know, use that as your baseline for whether someone belongs, don't use the same interiors for 300,000 books, you know, over and over and over. Because, and, you know, if you put it on Kickstarter, you didn't pay up front for it anyways. So really, so there's a lot of things that a lot of people say behind the scenes that just don't make sense to me. And I've tried to keep my head down, and never really bugged me. But then these people decided to start leaving comments on other artists who have been working with me. Thankfully, it was an artist that's well-seasoned, well-known, can handle it on his own. But it made me consider the new artists that I work with, how they might take that, how they would respond to being bullied, really, in the industry. And I think the events over the last month probably, I hope, caused a lot more attention to that idea of people in the industry bullying. So it made me go, okay, well, if I'm in here for the artists, I don't want that to happen. So what can I do to finally get these people off my back and create a story but at the same time still pay respect to why I started this, because the reason I started it was to give new artists an opportunity to be noticed and hopefully work for other people. And it's been successful. So I didn't want to stay away from that. So after a weekend, I came up with this idea called, the idea is, it's called Art and Book, the musings of Artemis and Brook. So there's Artemis and Brook. Artemis is kind of a, your model type character, and Brook is your gothic book nerd. Well, Artemis's nickname is Art, and Brook is a book nerd, so Artemis calls her Book. So it's Art and Book, but I made the logo where it really just reads as Art Book.
Yep.
There's going to be a lot of fourth wall breaking, as far as Artemis doesn't want to be there because she thinks it's silly, where I don't want to go. So what they're going to be doing is they're going to be visiting art galleries around the world and commenting on the art on the walls. Kind of like Mystery Science Theater 3000 did with movies.
Hell yeah.
So it's done in such a way where it's still celebrating the art of all the artists I work with. It's now just hanging on drawn walls with two characters making comments about the art, saying who the artist is, and Artemis not wanting to be there. So she's going to have, her little quips here and there, and Brooke's excited about the art. So there's going to be a little play on that. And then what I decided to do, and this may ruffle some feathers, it may not. I chose two artists that have been the recipients of the same type of behavior from these people after they were told that they wouldn't work with them. So Jacob Bear is doing the pencils and inks. He's been attacked online by this group of people, rightfully so. And Nathan Lorenzana is doing the colors.
Awesome.
And then I'm doing the story commentary on it. And it's going to just be it's still an art book. It's still what I normally did, but it's now going to have two people commenting about it and have some fun with it. So that was my way of like, okay, fine. I'll acquiesce a little bit, but I'm going to do it my own way.
Yeah.
So it should be fun.
When I heard the story, when Justin kind of first told me about what happened, like, it blows me away, man. Like, we talk about it all the time, like to each their own, kind of like we were just talking about Bear, Pirate, Viking, Queen, right? Everyone has their different tastes. Everyone's collect what you love, blah, 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 whatever, the gatekeeping stuff. But like when Justin was telling me the story, I remember my first instinct was like, well, I don't understand what the problem is. Like, why is this upsetting this other person so much? Like, to me, it would make sense if like you guys were competing, right? Like if it was like by you doing what you're doing, you're taking, quote unquote, food out of his mouth or whatever. But it's not the case. Like nothing that you're doing is affecting this person's life. And it's just making him so angry for no reason. Like, to me, honestly, I just don't get it. Like, why is this person so upset about this? Like, how does this affect him on a daily basis or at all, period? Like,
I think most people see it that way, but it's from my understanding that it's about control.
Yeah.
If you're within this sphere of people and under the influence of these individuals, they leave you alone. When he originally reached out in an email, I'm sure if I had responded and like started working with him or was buddy, it might have gone differently. But I knew that email that I got was not for anything positive.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, you're right. I don't compete with anyone, in my opinion. I make a very different product than anyone else,
right.
Other than artists themselves. Artists can make art books and they should, and support that. But again, for me, it's always, why do I do it? I'm not doing it because, I'm just trying to sell art for the art's sake. I want these artists to get hired. And if you look at the cost to produce these books, yes, the interiors are supplied by the artist or their galleries of stuff that I've put in the past. But when I come out with 40 of these in a month or 30 of them, I have paid for 30 or 40 original digital or traditional pieces of artwork. And one cover art costs more than a page of interiors.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So technically, I'm spending more in the industry to produce one book and have than this individual, because they're putting, their their third 300, how do you say 300th cover on the same book, right? And it's just one cover. So it doesn't make any sense to me. But I also know that it's real that, people have influence, and there's a lot of other stuff that goes on behind the scenes that I will probably be kind of throwing into this book as well. I'm not in competition, but a lot of people feel that I am for some reason, and I don't know why that is. And it's okay. If you're not doing something right, then you're not going to piss anyone off.
And for Art and Book, or Artemis and Brook,
Artemis and Brook, yeah.
I
still haven't figured out the best way to go. It's the art book.
Yeah, it's a great idea. I love how and exactly how you sell it is exactly the way that I would sell it to somebody else. It's like Mystery Science 3000, and I was just having this conversation last week with my brother because we were watching we were watching the latest DC movie, like Crisis on Infinite Earth Part 1. And we would like pause it and we would comment about it. And that's like it was when we were growing up as kids. Like they were watching a movie and they would make jokes about it. Yeah. And this is how I see this book going. And I feel like that's great because you have like a Deadpool character, but like Deadpool is so out of his norm in the fourth world. But the fact that like you're doing this with artists that you're already been working with, and they're two females, and that's not something that we really get to see. And I like how, like you said, like one wants to be there, one doesn't want to be there, and they're visiting art galleries, so they're going to see different things that who's ever interiors, whether you do something with Anna, whether you do something with Nathan, whoever you've worked with in the past. And I think it's a great idea because it's innovative, unlike where we've seen other things in the past, which it's just stale. But people, for whatever reason, still cling to it and just can't improve. And the fact that you've only been in this industry, since the end of 2022, and you're already like, you want to mature, you want to evolve. And I think it's a great idea. Ken, you're an artist. You've been around for many, many years. Have you ever had this, come up? Has any person or a company ever kind of like deterred you from working with somebody? Have you ever had that?
Not that I know of, but I want to say I don't really pay attention too much to stuff that happens on the internet so much. So like I don't really.
Well, yeah.
I don't I don't watch the news either. So like I kind of like am just kind of concentrated on like my own stuff, and then like my friends will tell me like things that happen. So I'm not actually familiar at all with what happened with you, James, but I do. When I met you at New York Comic Con, you were showing me what you were doing. Like I thought it was really cool. Like, and as an artist, when I was trying to break in, I would have loved to have an opportunity like that to like showcase my work. So I think it's cool that you're going forward with like a new format. It's so cool.
Yeah, then just wait. I met the owner or one of the founders or owners of Cyanide and Happiness at C2E2. And I have his email. So look, that might be a possibility where there's a Cyanide and Happiness inspired cover.
Okay. Interesting. Sweet. How was C2E2 since you just brought that up? I haven't been there in 10 years.
It was good. I mean, it was the first time I had been. A lot of people, a lot of artists, met a lot of great people. Jeff Deckel, Aunt Lucia, who I'm a big fan of. And then there's just so many. Jenny Friesen was there. You know that. I sent you the pictures, and I was going through it, but I had just bought the 2 Saurus Song originals, and I was like, I can't have a problem if I do this.
Yeah, no, it's good. Did you, I'm sure did you meet some artists that you possibly going to work with in the future?
Aunt Lucia, I got his email. He said he would be open to the script. And there's a whole bunch that I have their emails that are probably going to be doing cover work for Madison. So yeah,
nice. There's a bunch of Kubert School graduates because talk about this later, but I'm doing a signing at Dewey's Comic City for Free Comic Book Day, and the owner is Anthony Marquez, who runs the Kubert School, and so I've seen some of his students work, and there's some really cool students coming up that I think should definitely get in contact with you, or you should get in contact with them, because there's some really cool stuff. I think the next generation coming up would definitely could have like a cool spotlight with you, and you could definitely make some cool products for sure.
That's
Yeah,
awesome.
I mean, I would even be open to like looking at how to like partner with a school like that and just part of the program, or incorporate something where afterwards, if they want to talk or anything like that. So there's a lot of good people out there.
Yeah, no, I was gonna say, like I said, like as someone who's trying to break in, it was so hard for me to break in, and that was like what 13, 14 years ago. Like, so I can only I think it's even gotten so much harder now as an artist to like break in. So this is definitely like a super cool opportunity that you're presenting to up and comers and people who like just need that break, So I think that's awesome.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, look, man, if there's room in this hobby for 14 million Do You Poo covers and 90,000 battle damages, like if there's room for everything, bro. Like, I mean, you can do whatever you want. Like, that's the beauty of the comic book hobby, is there's so many different aspects of it, and everyone needs to realize that too. Not everything's for you, and it's also okay to dislike things as well. Like, but you don't have to be like a bully about it or a jerk about it. Like, you just, hey, that's not for me, I'm going to move on, but it's probably for someone else. I mean, someone out there is buying Do You Poo, and it ain't me. So there's a lot of people who like it. So more power to them, but yeah, dude, I don't know. It's the gatekeeping it's obnoxious. It's really obnoxious.
Yeah, I'm doing, there's this toy photographer I've been following online for a while. And he just did, I know we're just audio, but I'll show you guys a quick picture. He shoots these toy photographies.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
So
yeah.
I'm going to do homages to covers. This is not how I'm going to design it.
Oh, interesting.
It's going to be using his toy photography, and I'll come up with a new logo that uses his name and stuff. It's like you're saying, there's enough room for everything.
Yeah.
If you don't like it, someone else does, and that's okay. I think the only thing that you need to follow in the industry is just respect other people. That's about it.
Yeah.
So with Art and Book, are we now? So the first one drops today. If people are listening to this on May the 3rd, going forward, is Art and Book always just going to be Art and Book 1, 2, 3? Is it going to be?
I'm going to use each issue, kind of how I did the cover galleries, where issue 1 will be a set pieces of art on the wall, and then once I start changing them up, either artist specific or region specific. So I think it'd be cool if if I'm showcasing artists in Europe, then I want the backgrounds to be drawn like they're at the Louvre. If they're in America, the MoMA. If they're down south, the museum there. But it is going to be kind of I'll use multiple pieces of artwork for the same issue, but not for very long, just to kind of get some being off of it for so long, without publishing anything. Just want to get some of the stuff out that kind of fits the art that's on the inside. But then, yeah, as I play around with it and see how it's received, I'll start playing around with it. And the way I did it is the backgrounds are done separately from the characters. So all the characters have been drawn in 8 different poses for each one of them. Which then I can place into the scenes, reverse them as needed, or change them up, or change the sizes. And it might have that little disconnected feel to it with the art, but that's kind of intentional, because that's how the whole Mystery Science Theater was done. They were not part of the movie.
Yeah.
They were not part of the scene. So it kind of gives me some leeway to where I could come out with 20 issues in a month, and it could have 20 different pieces of art with 20 different poses or 20 different ways in which the poses are used. So I did it in a very modular way to where I can kind of build on it and change it and address things as it goes, instead of kind of having it all done at once. Something different.
Cool.
Nice. Yeah. And you're keeping the print runs low, similar. You're going to do numbered stuff, just like
everything stays the same. I have the first one I'm doing out of 100, just because it's the first one. And the art, It's really great art, but typically it's going to be 50. Everything's hard numbered. The 10 foils, the 10 medals. The cosplay stuff will still continue as the cosplay stuff. So yeah, it's pretty much the same, but just in a different. Art books are gone, but now it's an art book on a wall.
Well, I'm definitely looking forward to Art and Book 1 dropping it. I'm excited to pre-order it as soon as I've been on the website. I've seen the timer kicking down, so you get that first cover, you get the Wonder Woman, and I haven't seen what Artemis and Brook look like yet. So I'm pretty excited to see them. Once you start posting everything. So
they were modeled after a couple of people I've worked with.
Okay, cool.
So should be fun.
Cool, man.
James, where's that dropping tomorrow?
Just on my website, madlovecomics.com. So it's a pre-order, and then it should be all done, printed out by June. I was originally going to release it on Star Wars Day as the good overcoming the evil type thing, but I didn't want to compete with Star Wars. I mean,
it's so tough. Believe me, it's so tough when you're trying to drop everything for Star Wars on every website. People are like, they see every post, they save it.
That's why I did my Star Wars cosplay 6 weeks ago. So they should be in the mail for people who ordered them by tomorrow. But yeah, no, it's a lot that comes out. And Free Comic Book Day. I mean, it's kind of suicide to try to do anything new on that day.
I completely understand.
Yeah.
I get it. I'm like looking. Everybody's already like starting to post like random stuff, and I'm like, oh, what do I want to buy? What do I want to buy? Things are going to get announced over the next couple of days as well, so you got to start putting your pre-orders in. But so again, like Art and Book 1 will be out. Will be available for pre-order now as you're listening at the earliest 12 o'clock Eastern time on May the 3rd. So get over to James's website at madlovecomics.com. And you'll see Art and Book number 1. And, James got some older stuff as well. You can again follow him over on Whatnot as well if you're looking for older books. He's been blowing out some great books. I've been picking them up when I can. He's been rocking it with Cody, and hopefully this just continues. So sticking with our creator stuff, let's kind of go to our other buddy over here who's got his new thing that we've been talking about for quite a while. We've been waiting patiently for him to open up this Kickstarter. So
yeah, dude, seriously.
So before we get into the story, I'm going to read you the synopsis real quick, and I feel like this is perfect for anybody who's listening that loves all these upcoming things. So over on the Kickstarter, inspired by comics, RPGs, and animes from the 90s, Battle Chronicle Sol-Stryker is an action-packed adventure with just a hint of nostalgia that will take you back in time to when Toonami was can't miss TV, and your biggest worry was how to level up your party and beat the ultimate boss. Get on the ground room floor with this all-new saga written by the man who's with us, V Ken Marion. He's doing 52 pages on this first issue with a 12 pages behind the scenes. Of course, you got Jason Matthews, and the colorist is going to be Andrew Dahlhaus, and letters by Josh Reed. So that's kind of your quick synopsis. Not even talking about story yet, but if you're into video games, anime, and anything comic book related, if you go and check out Ken's stuff, covers are wild, the interiors, and some of the characters. So Ken, let's kind of break down, what are we talking story wise? Give us give us the elevator pitch of what we're going to be looking for in this first book.
Before we get it, he also has another book coming out. Don't you got a Free Comic Book Day book coming out? This is a big week for you as well, dude.
Yeah. Well, so it's not on Free Comic Book Day. It's part of the Absolute Power event, and the Absolute Power event is the Free Comic Book Day is kicking off the event, and then my book is called Absolute Power Ground Zero, which is coming out toward the end of June. And I've got one it's a giant size issue that's split into 3 stories. I've got one of the stories, the failsafe portion.
Nice, man.
That story, yeah.
That. Yeah. And then you're also going to be, like you said earlier, you're going to be at Dewey's. So Dewey's in Madison, New Jersey. If anybody's going to check out Free Comic Book Day, what are you signing? Are you signing all day? Are you going to be there specific?
I'm going to be there from 10 to noon. This Saturday at Dewey's Comic City, I'm going to be there from 10 to noon. And I am going to be doing free pencil head sketches, as many as I can do in the 2 hours that are there, for anyone who's at the store and has fit back the physical reward on the Kickstarter. So there's that. So I can't find my file, so I'm going to do this totally off the top of my head. So this might be a little scattershot. I'm sorry, but yeah. So basically,
no worries.
Yeah, it's a fantasy world, fantasy book, mixing of sci-fi, superheroes, anime, all the stuff we were talking about. In this world, it takes place in this world called the Kingdom of world of Impera, and this world is divided into two factions: humans and a monstrous race of people called Fomorians. So think like vampires, werewolves, creatures of the night. You know, these two factions have been at war for centuries, and the Fomorians, the creatures of the night, they're these immortal beings that hunt and kill humans, and their only weakness is sunlight, and so they're in the dark, they're powered by shadow, and in this kingdom, the main kingdom of the human race is this kingdom called the Kingdom of Akari, and they've learned to the royal family has the power to harness sunlight, and they use it as this energy that we were calling it the solar key. So the king and the royal family is able to harness the solar key and channel it as their sort of source of energy for like their whole kingdom. And they channel and solar key into the Sol-Striker's swords, which is, they're called Sunblades. And that is the only thing that's known to kill a Fomorian. So basically in this world and all this turmoil, the reluctant Princess Roxy Sakai, the heir to this power of the solar key, she gets thrown into this conflict as it comes crashing on the Kingdom of Akari's doorstep. And her and a group of rookie Sol-Strikers they need to go on this adventure to reclaim their kingdom and bring salvation to their world and find peace for the whole world. And there's a lot of twists along the way as we go deeper into the story, where things aren't necessarily all black and white, and we explore what happens when we think the ideals you're fighting for might not have been what they were all along, and maybe the bad guys aren't truly all bad, and the institutions you're fighting for might not always be always good. And how do our heroes reconcile that and forge a path forward that brings peace for everyone? And it's a very, very some esoteric ideas, about pacifism and sort of walking the path of true victory, like things that are very important to me, and so it's all wrapped up in this high energy, high action, just super kick-ass book that it was basically the book I wanted to make since I was like 14. It's like all the stuff that I loved when I was a kid, and that's the stuff that just made me happy. When I was a kid and coming home from a tough day at school, or even when I got older, trying to find a job, and it's I read comic books, and brings you that happiness, and that's kind of what I want to bring to people now, is just a really cool, uplifting, fun story with characters that will be your new favorite characters, and they're just super fun. And we can get into the characters and the breakdown of everyone too if you want, but yeah,
characters that have massive swords.
Yes. All the souls.
Awesome.
All the Sol-Strikers have, dude. Their Sunblades are, the idea. It's they're made out of a special ore that is found in certain parts of the planet that is a conduit of the solar key. And the king, the king, who's the bearer of the solar key, he has the ability to channel it and kind of bind it to people. So all their Sol-Strikers, all their Sunblades are bound to them internally, and they get kind of a little taste of that solar power juice. And so they're stronger, they're faster, they can power up a little bit, and they just have this sort of Zen kind of like a Zen sort of state when they get into a concentration mode with their solar power. So I'm super excited about it, and it's something I've been working on for a very long time, and I'm just happy to get it out there into the world now.
Yeah, I mean, you got the Kickstarter up. It dropped. It opened up today on May the 2nd. It's got 30 days to back. There's tons of stuff that you can definitely go ahead and pledge. But just looking at just the covers, they're amazing. The majority of them are done by you. You have a couple other guys. Who else is working on some covers for you as well?
Yeah, so let me go through the whole creative team. So the
course.
book itself, is co-written by me and my friend Jason Matthews, and we both bring sort of unique perspectives to this from where we're coming from. Me with the very anime side and 90s comics and video games, and then he's very much rooted in the Lord of the Rings and Star Wars and tabletop RPGing, like miniatures. And so like we're bringing kind of those two sort of ideas together. So with the story, and then I'm doing all the art, and Andrew Dahlhaus is doing all the colors, and Josh Reed's doing the letters. And the book looks beautiful. Like it's the best work Andrew has ever done. Some of the preview pages are up there online now, and you can get a little taste of. There's like I said, there's knights with swords. There's mechs like Gundam style. There's a giant mecha that are used to fight kaiju-sized Fomorians, which is a whole cool aspect of this that I always want to see, like the blending of these like superheroes and mechs. And then and for the variant covers, so I've got 5 covers. I've got A, B, C, and D, which are all standard covers, and then we've got Brett Booth on E, which looks amazing. Like it's stunning. Like when I got it, Brett Booth, Adelso Corona inked it, and Andrew Dahlhaus colored it. And then cover F is from Sue Lee. She did the whole thing herself, pencils, inks, colors. And then the last cover, or the other artist is cover G, which is Joe Benitez, who Top Cow legend, Aspen legend. I was so happy to be able to get him on there with colors from Beth Sotelo. That cover is like really popping too. And then the last cover is another cover I did is cover H. It's a Chase variant cover, and it's the Princess Roxy Sakai in a very 90s pinup Baywatch kind of pose, like a throwback to the posters that we had on our walls when we were teenagers. And that was like the inspiration for that one. Yeah.
Yeah. Very, very Turner-esque, very Fathom, without a doubt on that last one that's coming out. But I mean, yeah, you got a stellar team of artists for the covers, but I mean, it's all you, man. Like, we just the preview pages. If you go check out his stuff, it's seriously straight out of video game stuff, anime stuff, and even the characters. I guess let's briefly get into the characters, but it's very reminiscent, like with you and Jace. You got like a Lord of the Rings type of thing, Record of Lodoss Wars, any of the Final Fantasy games. Like that's pretty much it. Like, who are like the main Soul Strikers? Like who are the ones that are
so
what you could see on the covers and stuff?
Yeah. So the main protagonist, we talked about the Princess Roxy Sakai. A lot of the story focuses around her and her journey as reluctant to the burden that is hers to inherit with the Solar Key. She's very much she doesn't really like being a princess. Like she doesn't have she doesn't have a thirst for power. She doesn't want any of the responsibility. She's very much an analogy to what I saw growing up as like getting right out of college, like when 23, 24 years old, and you just kind of want to stay like immature and like not kind of grow up and like not accept responsibility. And that's where she starts off in this book. And so a lot of that is about her and her journey becoming sort of like the heir to this power. And then over Soul Strikers, our main ones, our first is Varric Nobleson, who is the other one of the main protagonists. And he is from this frigid, far-off mining colony where they mine the ore that make the blades. Everyone from his area has this ice-like white bluish hair, and so like that makes him stand out in the Kingdom of Fikari. He's looked down on for it. Like he's seen as sort of like a hick and like not of the right social class to be a Soul Striker, and that's something that he's always had a chip on his shoulder. And he's like very honorable and very compassionate about the people around him. And his whole thing is he just wants to like help others and bring honor to his family. And his father was a soldier in the Karan army, and so he grew up listening to all his dad's like war stories and just these like ideas of valor, and like that's something he always strived for. And our next main one is Axel Arrington, who is. He's the exact opposite of Varric. He's the son of the Duke and Duchess of one of the Hikaran cities, and he's very rich. Think like Bruce Wayne meets like Ken Masters. He's very cocky, very suave. He's like the cool guy of the group.
It gives me Sunspot vibes, man. Like Robert DaCosta from the New Mutants.
Oh yeah, totally.
Like
And he's just vibes, he's the best of the best. He's top of his class and everything. He's the guy that he always has the cool joke and like the really great fighter. And he's a very very likable character, and I think people are really going to dig him. And the third of the main Soul Strikers is Gwendolyn Santos, who's she's their captain. She's their leader. She is she's the one who is in charge of their wing of soldiers, and that's we're calling them. We're using Air Force terminology because Jason, my co-writing partner, is an Air Force veteran, so we're using a lot of Air Force terminology for like wings and stuff. And so the wing of their unit, and she's their commander, and her father is the general of the entire Sol-Stryker platoon and of like the unit, and she's very much ingrained into the kingdom's political sort of sphere, but she's always trying to live up to what her father's expectations are for her, and it's always kind of feeling like she's not good enough. So she has to be on this journey of like, how does she become a better leader and a better warrior? And each character has their own arc, and that's just the four main protagonists we have. There's more than that. We're going to introduce more Sol-Strikers as well to join the group. The villains as well. They're very sort of complex and nuanced, and each character has their own arc that's going to happen throughout the entirety of the story. Should we be blessed enough to be able to tell the whole thing if we get the funding? So I'm really excited about it, and it's like all the kind of characters I've always wanted to work on and draw, and hopefully they'll be cool and fun and relatable and inspirational, and like you'll, as a reader, like whether you're an older reader and it reminds you of being young again, or you're a younger reader and it's like this is like it just makes you feel super happy and jazzed to like read something like that's just inspiring. Like that's what we're here for, you know?
Oh yeah. You're getting it right off the ground floor, like you said. If you're a new reader and you don't know where to start, like DC, Marvel, like this is the place to start. You're getting your first issue. You're getting all these characters. You can read about them right in the Kickstarter. As far as like a story wise, Ken, what are you foreseeing as like? Is it like a 6-issue series? You're going to be dropping the first book, whenever this gets funded and everything. What do you see? Like one book every 6 months, the next one in like a year? What's kind of like the idea with this?
Mm-hmm. So all our timetables, we have the story planned out to be 12 books. Now that could be modulated depending on how successful we go, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like we have areas that we can make longer because we have ideas we cut, so we can make it longer, or we have ways we could make it shorter if we need to, So, but right now we have a plan for 12, and how fast we get them out, it really depends on how successful we are with the Kickstarter and the funding. So, because the economics of the situation being the reality is like I still have to work to pay bills, like I still have to do like other project stuff on the side. So if this gets enough funding and it's successful enough and I can focus mainly on this, we'll get them out faster. Like ideally would love to get the book 2 out next year. Like that'd be awesome. Super ideally, it'd be great to do 2 a year. Like that would be like probably the best because they're graphic novel size. They're not single issues. They're pretty big. But we're putting like as slow as it would be, like as long as it took to make it. And then, like I said, like with the shipping and the next book coming out, we're really putting between me and Jason writing it, we've really took our time to craft this story to make something that is not only logical in the world that it's in, but also has a lot of heart and a lot of like meaning to it, and like it's not just like a throwaway read. It's something that you're really gonna get a lot of entertainment value out of. And then through the drawing, I'm putting everything I have into it. Andrew's, like I said, it's the best work I've ever seen of him color, and we're making like what we want to be the most premium of premium products to get to you. And when we get them printed, we want to have really great quality paper, really great, like just a great quality collectible package that you're going to get, and you hope you'll be super happy with it.
Yeah, it looks awesome, dude. I couldn't be more excited about it. I love the whole like graphic novel like length as well. I mean, you look at it since like 52 pages. I mean, that's a story, bro. Like, I mean, we all do, the weekly books. We read weekly and stuff. And it's just as the story gets to get good, right, the issue ends and it's like, damn it, I have to wait a whole nother month. But like a thick book where I'm reading pages, that's what I like, man. And your art it's fantastic throughout this whole thing. I'm really pumped. I'm really excited. I was riding the train this morning, like looking at the Kickstarter, and I'm like, oh God, I don't know which ones I want to get. I don't know which pledge I'm going to back. I'm kind of feeling like I want a t-shirt, but I don't know if I do. I don't know what I want. Black t-shirts are like the bane of my husky existence, as well as dog hair all over them. It looks so cool. But dude, I mean, you guys the different rewards you guys have and pledges, there's something for everyone. I mean, whether you want to go easy peasy for like the digital editions there, or if you want to go just a standard cover. I mean, you pulled out all the stops here, bro. It's fantastic. Like the different options you have here. There's something for everyone except us, because James went ahead and got the last Australian character. So there's something for James apparently, but not the rest of us.
I'll make a deal with you. When this gets funded, I might just swap out the images I provide with pictures of Zack.
Oh, sick, dude. Okay. Well, let me get to the gym a little bit. Let me get shirtless for you.
No, I'm really glad you brought that up about the reward tier thing, because that was something I spent a lot of time and research on and making. Like I looked at other campaigns that I liked, that I backed, and saw the stuff that was offered that I thought was really cool, like T-shirts and hats. I thought were something that that's really big for me. Like I'm really big into like pop punk and punk rock and stuff, and going to shows and getting like T-shirts from bands, and that's something that I'm super excited about. I always get T-shirts on Kickstarters when I back them. So we're working with a company that actually makes shirts for like rock bands and stuff. So it's going to be like really good quality stuff. It's not just going to be like we're like ironing them on in our basement. You know, this is going to be like legit products. We got a legit stitched hat with the Sol-Stryker logo on it. It's going to be really cool. And
the snapback. It's cool.
Metal and we've got metal covers too. We've got all the covers are available as metal covers as well, which is super cool. And we've got like a sticker packs. We've got metal bookmarks. We've got an exclusive metal mini print that's only available as the print. Like it's not a reused cover. It's a special image just for the metal print. It's I'm really psyched about it. I'm glad you liked it, because man, I'm just stoked. This is my first time going in like promoing, something from that I've written and done myself. So I'm still new to the whole sort of promotional cycle, but hopefully my enthusiasm is carrying through to the listeners.
So the commemorative metal print, it looks like it's like landscape format, right?
Yes.
Is that what I'm kind of seeing on the picture here? Okay. Yeah. Cool.
Yeah. And they're going to be numbered too. The metal prints are going to be numbered and only printed up to what is ordered. So it's, if we get 20 orders, there's going to be 20 of them, and that's it. So
nice.
Yeah, very limited product.
Nice. And then also you have which I like too, is what you did for retailers. So if you're a retailer out there, or if you're a listener and you want your retail shop to carry it, there is actually a tier for retailers. So you get multiple copies of the cover A's and cover B's, and it's a little bit of a cheaper price, but it's still it gives you a decent amount to go ahead and put it in a shop, because obviously you're not distributing it through Lunar or Diamond. It's not going to be in a previews magazine right now. It's through Kickstarter. So if you want to go ahead and spend some money, perfect way for your local shop to have it.
Yeah, no, seriously, thank you for running that too, because the retailer tier is eight copies of cover A, 8 copies of cover B, and an extra copy of cover B that I'm doing a remark on, so that the retailer can that's like another special thing that they can maybe boost the price up when they sell. And I think they're half price of what the retail. So the books are 24. They're 24 on the Kickstarter. They're going to be 25 when they're printed, like when I have any extras for cons or whatever. So they'll retail at stores for 25. And I believe they're like, it breaks down like half. It's $200 for the 17 copies. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's awesome. That's a really great tier. And I like how, like Zack even said, and you were speaking about it, is you have all these little extra things, and usually you don't really get those extra things until you start getting to your funding, and then you start meeting like stretch goals. Like they'll put those in, and I know you'll have them, and I know I don't want you to talk about them yet, but it's always good to see like all this stuff that's getting included like right then and there. Like you could see it. It's like, I've seen it where some Kickstarters I've backed, it's like the stretch goal. It's like, it's like these things that should already be available. Like, give me a hat. Like I'll buy like the hat or the shirt. Like, don't put that as like a stretch goal, because it kind of throws people off. Like you really want, I'm sure your stretch goals are going to be amazing if you're already including all this for regular tiers. Like I can't imagine what stretch goals you're going to throw in there. So.
And
we've got some cool stretch goals.
Oh, sorry, man. I didn't mean to. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Oh, okay. No, I was just going to say one of your tiers that I think is another really cool one to highlight is what's this? What tier is this? Number 26. It comes with the half figure sketch edition as well. And that's awesome, dude. I mean, so you get like a sketch of you, and so it looks like, I mean, dude, you put Havoc in here, and I'm straight up like, okay, now I need a Havoc sketch, whether it's part of this tier or just like on the side, I'm gonna have to get a Havoc sketch from you. But so this is you can pick whatever character you want, and then I also saw if not, it just will automatically be a character from Battle Chronicle Sol-Stryker. Right? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's cool, man.
Yeah. So yeah, we've got. Thanks, man. Thank you. I've got a head sketch tier. So it's all 8 covers. So the original art tier of what you're talking about with the commission tiers are all 8 covers, and one version is a head sketch, one version is a half body, one version is a full body, and it's the character of your choice for the sketches. They're single characters, and yeah, whoever you want. And if you don't want to pick, or if you just you don't get back to me with the request, I'm going to draw a Sol-Stryker character. But if you do have a specific character that you want to draw, you want like a Superman, a Batman, Wonder Woman, Wolverine, Havoc, whoever, whatever character you want.
So cool.
Sweet. James, you got any questions for Ken?
I'm going through and seeing all of the really cool add-ons. I really like the art in the covers, especially the shape one.
Dude, it's just fun. It just looks fun, bro. Like, honestly, every time I see it, I just think this looks fun as shit.
We keep saying with these tiers that you get all 8 covers. That's 8 52-page books you're getting.
Yeah,
that's not 8 comic books that you're getting. You're getting 8 52-page
64
books.
64.
64. I'm sorry.
64. Yeah.
That's massive.
Yeah. It's gonna be it's gonna be fun doing the shipping for sure. I like I said, first Kickstarter I'm doing, so we're fulfilling it all ourselves.
I heard Nemesis volunteered to help with that.
Oh yeah, hell yeah, man! I'll drive up. I got no problem. It's not that far for.
He's got a label printer, bro. He'll bring his label printer for you.
Yeah, we'll take care of that. I'll bring up some Gemini mailers. We'll rock them out all weekend.
I think you could fit 3 in a Gemini mailer.
Good to know.
Yeah,
good to know. So I appreciate both of you gentlemen coming on, talking about both your projects. James for the art and book, and Ken your Battle Chronicle Sol-Stryker book. That is both of you guys. We are big supporters of both of you guys. You guys James great. For over the past year that we've had conversations that we've met in person and had fun at some shows, and Ken, same thing. I've been a supporter for you for just as long as you've been in the industry. Going back looking at some sketches that I've gotten from you, and for the people out there listening, please, both of these gentlemen, they produce great stuff, and that's no joke. That's not just high praises. It's real stuff. And I love the innovation that James you're going with. And like, Zack said, Ken, your stuff is just fun. It's just fun to look at. It's comics in motion. And I can't wait to see what's going to come out, and just with the whole issue itself. So I appreciate both of you gentlemen, again, coming on here, talking about it. Links will be in the description. So please go ahead, support the Kickstarter. It's good for 30 days. If you're listening to this early enough, there is also the 48-hour exclusive with the black and white covers. And then again, James's stuff is launching right now as we're speaking. So before we get out of here, anybody else want to say some stuff? Ken, James, Zach?
I'm good. You guys go ahead.
Thanks for having me.
Before I forget, obviously, thanks for having us for sure. I just want to say, like, the 48. I thank you for bringing that up. I almost forgot that we do have the first 48 hours. We have exclusive black and white variants of the main cover A, the Chase variant cover, which is the Princess Roxy cover, and then also Brett Booth's cover. So it's just the black and white line art, and it's only going to be available until Saturday morning. So if you listen to this tomorrow, go on to the campaign page and check it out, because we're only going to super low print run on those. Like James said, thank you so much for having us, and be sure to check out Mad Love Comics with their cover dropping tomorrow. And thanks for having us.
James?
Yeah, no, second that. I'm definitely looking forward to seeing this come out with you, Ken, and glad I could back it and got in there right before Zack. I appreciate that.
No, dude.
Yeah,
that's not hard to do. I'm sleeping all the time, bro. I can't make a decision ever.
But it's always a pleasure seeing you guys, talking to you guys. Good seeing you again, Ken. Appreciate everything you do. Appreciate the support, and look forward to seeing what you guys do.
Awesome. So again, Ken, you'll be at Dewey's on Saturday. I know. Then upcoming shows for the people that want to go see you, you'll be at the New Jersey Garden State Comic Fest in June. Anything else before that, or just after that?
I'm also going to be at Heroes Con, and I'm going to be, which in North Carolina, and I'm going to be at Undiscovered Realm Comic Con in White Plains, New York. So my June is packed. Each weekend I'm going to be Jersey to I think it's Heroes Con first, then Jersey at Garden State, and then White Plains, the Undiscovered Realm Comic Con.
Nice.
I might touch base with you. There's a chance I might try to make it down to Heroes Con. I'll let you know.
Oh, that'd be sick.
Yeah, because it's kind of just south of me, not too far.
Nice.
So,
and then James, maybe him and I will get together for San Diego. There's a possibility.
Yeah, I should be going one way or another, whether it's through the professional thing or through other means necessary. I started digging a tunnel last year, so
there you go.
We're gonna get in one way or another.
Yeah, and then of course, we've been talking about it every week. We can't. God damn, I really want to show this cover. We can't officially talk about it, but we're going to talk about it. We are going. We have a cover. It's approved.
Nice.
Zack, myself, and Mr. Ken down there has been working on it patiently, and he asked to show a tease, and I said no, please don't. So for Terrificon, we will have an exclusive cover.
Sweet.
But yeah, that's all we're gonna say, and it's amazing. I don't care. I've shown some people, and they can't wait to get the actual copy. So that's it for us for this week. Again, please go ahead and back both these gentlemen's projects. Whether it's the smallest tier or the highest tier, if you want to go and drop a couple $1,000s and get some original covers from Ken, and then any of the awesome covers that James puts out. I mean, I'm literally just going to stay on the webpage until noon tomorrow, so I can go ahead and grab one of these art and books. So, everybody, thank you so much again. And then this weekend, there is so much going on. I'll be at Philly Fan Expo if you're listening to this. Free Comic Book Day, May the 4th, Revenge of the 5th, all that stuff. Star Wars Comic Book Day. Get out there and buy some comics. Go to your local comic shops and support them, because that's the only way that both of these gentlemen can continue doing what they're doing and what we continue doing every week, talking about comic books and reading them. So enjoy the rest of your day, morning, evening, or night. Peace out, everybody.
Later.
Hey, comic book collectors. Do you want to protect what you collect? Do you hate when your comic books slide around in your short box, or you need to turn them sideways just so they don't bend or fall over? Well, look no further than Sidekick Supplies. Their product fits firmly inside your comic box, so you don't need to worry. And not only is their product made in the USA, but also ships free directly to your doorstep. Check out our sponsor, Sidekick Supplies, at sidekicksupplies.com and use the code ComicCom15 for 15% off your purchase. Believe me, you'll be ordering more than one.